another video today. We are talking about what we saw today. Champions League semifinal second leg. I know it's not what everyone expected. I really expected these guys to go at it again. And honestly, guys, I did lose a bet today. I really thought, goals scored were gonna be over 2.5. At the end of the day, is only 2 goals. What a tie, 1-1. FC Bayern versus PSG. By far, I know that there's a lot to say about this, and I saw a couple of videos before I even started this video. We all know that the Portuguese AA89 skills or AA9 skills said that the Portuguese referees are awful. Today we saw exactly that. Now, would that have changed the conclusion or the result of what we saw yet today? I don't think so. I think at the end of the day, I think PSG still go through just because I didn't see Bayern Munich today bringing it at home. I don't know how to explain it, man. Like, you could have seen that PSG, you could see that PSG wanted it more. So this is my take, man. I know the referees, and I guess at the end, like, I guess that really reflects, whenever you don't have a call on your side. I mean, it brings your momentum, it brings your your morale down. I get it. Trust me, I'm one of the people that once things don't go in your favor, you start really losing the hope of something that's of something. So at the end of the day, I really do get Bayern, but I don't think that the result would have changed today just because of how good PSG is. So is this result fair? I think it is. I think PSG go through just because the quality that every single player have in this team. I was listening to the English broadcast, and it doesn't matter whether it's 10 minutes, 5 minutes that you play. Everybody in that team is exactly that, a team. Almost at the end of the game, you can see that, for example, Marquinhos or, Bernaldo, whatever his name is, they were doing tackles, inside the box, and then they were winning free kicks. They were winning throw-ins, and every throw-in, every free kick, every little thing, they were celebrating with each other because that's what it is, man. In this stance of the Champions League, you got to celebrate the small wins. So, like I said, by far, PSG is the superior team. I think PSG is the best team in the world as of right now still. I actually think that they're actually stronger than last season. I don't know why. I just see this different hunger. I think Luis Enrique has done a very, very good job. And like I said, going back to PSG, I don't want to discredit them. I don't want to say that they were that they're terrible. No, I think I think Bayern Munich are basically there as well with PSG. It's just that today, May 6th, I think today is May 6th, right? Today, May 6th, I think PSG just wanted it more. I think the quality. Guys, Kvaratskhelia, man. What is this guy cooking, bro? This guy is so freaking crazy, man. I see his FIFA card, and he is a 5-star skills, 5-star weak foot. The guy is crazy with both feet. The guy can shoot. The guy can dribble with both feet. Dembele, man. The guy starts on the right, comes down, into the middle of the box, and he scores from across like Kvaratskhelia did. Crazy. Desiree Doué, another insane player from, and this is why I think France is gonna win the World Cup, because of how good the talent is from what's it called, from the French national team. The French national team today, they have probably, if not one of the best teams in the whole, if not I think the best national team in the whole world. It's just the quality of each player. Olise, Desiree Doué, Dembele, Mbappe, Chouameni, Camavinga, every single position, guys, they have elite players. So like I said, at the end of the day, man, hats off for PSG. Crazy team going back to back. The only team that has done it 3 times is obviously Real Madrid. I had to put Real Madrid there, guys. I'm a Real Madrid fan, so at the end of the day, I had to put him in there. So yeah, what this says about football says a lot. I think that today we see why we love these type of games, just because they're more entertaining than the one that we saw yesterday. The one that we saw yesterday, it was very predictable. It was very today. You can still sense the tension even at the 80-minute, whenever PSG were dominating, you could still see the tension. And by I mean domination, I don't mean possession of the ball, because I think that Bayern today had like 60-70% ball possession, while PSG only had 30. But at the end of the day, Bayern did exactly what Man City did for a couple games. Like I think it was like last season, or a little bit of this season, where they have a lot of possession of the ball. They turn it around. They twist it. They turn. They do this. They do that. They flip it over, and they don't do nothing with it. And I don't think PSG, at the end of the day, I don't think they're uncomfortable with that. I think they're very comfortable. I think if they give the ball away, I think they're very comfortable. Absorbing pressure, absorbing pressure, absorbing pressure, absorbing pressure, until you get one ball and you just send it to your speedsters. And these guys can run, boys. Like I saw today, man. Every chance, man, that PSG had the chance to like break, it was insane. It was Due, it was Zembele, it was Caravaskelia that were literally finding the back of the net. If it was not for Manuel Neuer today, Manuel Neuer, one of the best goalkeepers of this of history of football, I think today would have ended at least 3-1. And I'm being very, very serious right now. I think Manuel Neuer literally saves Bayern Munich from losing at home. A team that I knew I should have expected this, man. I knew both teams was gonna score, but I just couldn't believe myself. I don't know. I really thought that, but there was gonna be more goals. But I'm so happy that we saw today. Now going into the future, man, do I see Arsenal beating PSG? That's the biggest question that I have right now at the moment, and I will answer as we get closer, as the season ends. I still think that Arsenal have a big job to do. Going to the Atletico de Madrid versus Arsenal, I really thought that Atleti were gonna bring it to Arsenal, but they didn't. They couldn't find themselves, and I guess Atleti are in the state where they're transitioning from becoming a very, very defensive team to a very more balanced team. And I think this is the biggest problem with Atleti. I think that if you change the philosophy in this team, it's very hard to become a new team. So when Cholo's trying to create a more balanced team, a more attacking team, you lose a lot of quality in the back, and I think that's what's going on with Atleti. Atleti were known for keeping results very, very at zero sometimes, most of the times, and now you see an Atleti that knows how to score, that knows how to defend the ball, but like I said, you score more goals, but you concede more. I think Atleti were the second team to concede more goals in the Champions League this season. And like I said, if Simeone heard that 10 years ago, he will probably throw you down and start slapping you, because he'll be like, how in the world is my Atleti gonna concede more than 30 goals a season in the Champions League? So like I said, this is why I think Atleti lost. I think they, even though they have more experience, I think they lost their philosophy of football. I'm pretty sure a lot of people will agree with me that Atleti were known for like I said, keeping their results very at zero, clean sheets and everything. That was the most important thing for Atleti. This year is different. I think they try to score, and that's why that's how they get caught. They don't have the players to make an impact, to transition into like a counter, or like a break. I don't think they do. I think they, as much as Simeone, as much as Julian Alvarez, as much as Sorlot, as much as Thiago Almada, those players are amazing. But are those the type of players like Caravaskelia that would literally, or Dembele, that Desire do that will basically, kill you in one counterattack? There, I don't think so. I think they're still in that transition to become a better, more balanced attacking. So I think that's why they lost. I think with the more experienced players, more deadly players, I think Atleti could do it. Is that now going to Arsenal, man? I dislike Arsenal. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I really don't care about Arsenal. I just don't like the football that they play, man. The chances of them winning the Champions League, I think, is at 30%. I think that Arsenal right now, man, they're a good defensive team. That's all I can say. I think they're a very, very good defensive team. When it comes to offensive, obviously Joker is the guy who moves like a little truck. Like the guy is slow. Madueke, they're not S tier players. I think they're maybe some of them are world class, but S tier players. I think the only one S tier player, and he's coming back from an injury, is Saka. After that, I don't see a S tier player in Arsenal. I just, that's the way that I think at the end of the day. And some people might think, and the reason why I don't want Arsenal to win anything, I mean, if they win the Premier League, by all means, But the reason why I don't want Arsenal to win the Champions League is because they beat Atleti, they beat Leverkusen, they beat, who was the other one? Bodo. I mean, these are teams that are the Europa League. These are teams that Sporting. These are teams that don't really, I think it was I think Arsenal was Bodo, Leverkusen, and then Italy. I don't think that's Champions League level. I think that's Europa League, and I think that's why they will crumble against PSG. But like I said, it's just one leg. Anything can happen. So I'm not gonna clear off, what's his name, Arsenal just yet. I don't think I'm gonna clear off PSG just yet either. When it comes to like who's gonna win, who's gonna lose. Like I said, as we get closer to the date of the Champions League final, we are gonna make our assumptions. We are gonna make our decisions of who I think is gonna win. I am gonna see more Arsenal games. Hopefully, like I said, they change their philosophy of football. I don't want them to depend on it. I don't want them to depend very much on just like corners or like dead balls. I want them to play football. I want them to play. I want to see good football from Arsenal. If they start showing more, they win the Premier League. If they start showing more football, then I'll be like, okay, now the chances of them winning the Champions League will increase. But as of right now, as of May 6th, like I said, I do have PSG going back to back champions of the champions just because of how good the quality and how good the players are, how everyone works off and on the ball. I think like they have snipers on the ball. I think they literally can destroy you when it comes to a counter, when it comes to a break, when it comes to managing as well. Like I saw a PSG that were able to defend, were able to attack when they needed to. Luis Enrique has basically molded this squad as he wants to, and you can see that once you give the manager the trust to mold the squad, to finesse some little details, to correct some small things that he doesn't like, that's when you start seeing a very, very good team. So like I said, as of today, May 6th, I think PSG will win the Champions League against Arsenal. By all means, if I start watching Arsenal play very, very good football, and very, when I mean good football, it's just not defending or corner kick tactics. If I start seeing Arsenal actually play good football, that's whenever I start saying, what. But we'll get closer to that day, to that game. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Tomorrow we have Aston Villa. We have a couple games Europa League, but those games are not comfortable. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. See you guys in the next one, boys. Let's go.